Hello and welcome to the next video of my LPL 2023 preview series. We're going to cover LNG. Disclaimer, this team is the team holding up my LPL tier list because honest to God, there is no way that Uneasy is going to be their bot laner. And due to the fact that they have Scout and Tarzan, this team is no slouch. So the AD carry actually plays a role in the tier list. The difference between Uneasy and I don't know, iBoy or Kepler, maybe, off the rip here, maybe those are the two best LPL resident AD carries, because I don't think they can have another Korean player because they have Tarzan and Scout. The difference between iBoy and Kepler versus Uneasy could be the playoffs, could be a whole tier and a tier list, so that's why the tier list hasn't occurred yet. LNG went 19-13 last year, 20-24 at the LDL level. Their coach is YIL. I did not mention in my last video that I just did the LCK video with Dom Kia. Acorn went 75-88. But opposite end of the spectrum is YIL, who has no record to speak of on Leaguepedia as a coach. He's been with LNG for a year, but is not responsible for their record last year in any capacity officially on Leaguepedia. A lot of moves made by this team, though. Ale in top lane's out. Duenby has taken a break. I think he's going to retire. Light is now with Weibo. And then Lamau, I think, doesn't have a job. I think Lamau is unemployed. Could be wrong about that. So Lamau is out. Iwandi is out. So what do? They bring in two IG solo laners. They brought in Zika and Yukai, then signed Scout. So they brought in two different mid laners. And then at support to replace Lamau, they have Hung, who is from FPX. So LNG, 4 out of the 5 roles are going to be brand new for this team this year. Coming in at 20.8 years old with the assumption Uneasy is their AD carry. Zika at 19 years old put up a 2.5 KDA, 8.5 CS per minute, 52.7 KP last year with IG. Solid numbers. Is Zika great? No, but he's still young at 19 years old with some development to do. IG was definitely not a good spot last year. So I think we need to give Zika a little bit of grace, see if he can keep those numbers up, bring up the KDA a bit. There is potential there. 391 damage per minute, 19.9 damage share, 22 gold share, 9 champions in 44 games last year. He is a, technical top laner in that his pool was Jax, Gwen, Fiora. So he is one of those type of top laners. We know what we're talking about here. One of the finesse tops. Panda C, a player that was kind of thrust into the lineup last year, probably at his dismay. Put up a 1.2 KDA, 7.4 CS per minute, 35.9 KP last year. Like, just bad. Panda C was not ready. They put him in there anyways when Ale was away from the team because I think there was a contractual money dispute going on. And the team really suffered as a result. And then they kept going back and forth. And the LNG coaching staff really blew it with that one. And Panda C was definitely he was collateral in the situation. 429 damage per minute, 23 damage share, 19.7 gold share, 6 champions, 12 games. Gnar, Gwen, Jax is most played. 5K is the LDL top laner, 285 KDA, 832 CS per minute. So above average for sure, 67.5 KP. That's surprisingly high. I don't see top laners above 2/3 of kills. That is very high with an 832 CS per minute. So even if they're only timing their fights around when the top laner is available to be involved, that's still very uncommon. 490 damage per minute, 23.1 damage share. 23.1 gold share, sorry. So makes sense it's high because he's so involved. 10 kills, 10 champions in 38 games. Gwen, Fiora, Jax. So I think it is no secret that this team and organization believes that the top laner is meant to play finesse, for sure. In the jungle, we have Tarzan, who definitely left a lot to be desired last year. We saw flashes of what Tarzan is as a jungler in the playoffs. He is one of the best in the world, but last split was awful. 3.7 KDA, 5.1 CS per minute, 69.1 KP. I mean, a dog meta is not his. Excuse me. 287 damage per minute, 13.6 damage share, 18.3 gold share. 12 champions, 39 games. Viego, Wukong, and Poppy were his most played. I expect Tarzan to make a rebound this split. Darwin is the backup. I thought Darwin played well at times in Nest 2022. These stats, however, indicate to me he is not ready for a promotion. 289 KDA, 515 CS per minute, 76.4 KP. Obviously different levels of play, but he is slightly out farming Tarzan at a lower level and 7% KP higher. I do not believe that Darwin is better than Tarzan. I'm just comparing these two stat lines. 307 damage per minute, 18.3 gold share, so the same gold share. 11 champions, 38 games. Viego, Diana, and Wukong were his most played. In mid lane, we have Scout. At 24 years old, Scout played well with EDG last year. A 5.4 KDA, 9 CS per minute, 68.4 KP. There are a lot of things coming out about how EDG has operated during the offseason, but also what was going on at Worlds with the COVID situation. There are thoughts that Scout was ill during that series against DRX. Game 5, obviously, very sour taste in Scout's mouth, EDG's mouth, where he got completely annihilated by Zeka. People overlook how he did throughout that entire tournament before that. They overlook how he did in summer. Scout is still one of the better mid laners in the world. These numbers do not lie. 613 damage per minute, which I think is the highest on the board. 26.4 damage share, 22.3 gold share, so still a carry in his own right. 13 champions in 38 games. Azir, Corki, Talia are his most played. Now, Yukai ends up being the guy that's kind of on the outs now. At 20 years old, he is, I'm going to assume, to be the sub for this team. 2.4 KDA, 8.1 CS per minute, 71.6 KP. Definitely outmatched in summer. The KP is high at 71.6, so he really tried to keep himself involved, roaming, making things happen for IG, but he was not getting regular playing time, splitting time with Mole. Definitely outmatched. I mean, there is no secret there. 429 damage per minute, 24.1 damage share, 21.3 gold share. 14 champions in 21 games. Maybe a case where he was playing too many different things, trying to figure out what would work. Eventually, I'm all for champion oceans. I think you should. I love when players have counters for everything. But if you are not able to play your foundational champions at a level that does not make you lose lane on average, there's a problem. Like, you need a foundation of, I don't know, 6 to 8 champions. If you're at a pro level, obviously, if you're in solo queue, it's a different story, where you are not going to get blown out. And the fact is, he was getting blown out. Talia, Swain, Galio, his most played. XZY is the LDL mid laner. He is not ready to come up at all. At 20 years old, a 397 KDA, 799 CS per minute, 69.4 KP, so nowhere close to being ready. 447 damage per minute, 21.2 gold share, 10 champions, 34 games. Ari, Silas, and Rise are his most played. And then they have a guy named Yummy behind him. He only played 4 games last year, so I don't include stats for such a small sample size, but they have a 4th mid laner that's going to put pressure on XZY. So in bot lane, the role in question, Uneasy is 19 years old, put up a 3.54 KDA, 8.55 CS per minute, 77.6 KP, which is extremely high. Definitely fought around their 80 carry. He did not farm very well. 584 damage per minute, 24.3 gold share, which hurt. I mean, the reason why he wasn't able to get above 25 gold share, up around 25.5 or so, is because he was losing lane on average. 9 champions in 40 games. Aphelios, Jinx, and Twitch were his most played. Now, Why do I have Uneasy listed as blue? He played last year a significant amount of games, right? LP played for LNG for a couple games in the Demacia Cup just now, over the last, couple weeks here, but he did not play over a 10-game sample size since last year actually it's 2023 now. So 2 years ago, coming up, like in 2021 spring. Age isn't listed. He did well in that split, 6.83 KDA. I mean, that's very good, but a 916 CS per minute, not great. 67.8 KP, 583 damage per minute, 24.4 gold share, 6 champions, 34 games. Kesa, Samira, Tristana, his most played. I do not believe that these guys are going to be their 80 carries. But we also have to keep in mind, the longer LNG waits, the worse off they're going to be. The less scrim time they get with this 80 carry, the less time Hung gets with this 80 carry, which is going to be a problem. I really do think so. I think that the longer they wait, the less the chances are of winning spring, and being like at that tier where we expect a team with Tarzan and Scout to be. Put down in the comments who you think their 80 carry is going to be. Do not put Gala. Do not put Gala. Support. Hung at 19 years old. 343 KDA, 72.5 KP, 11 champions in 40 games. Nami, Renata, Yumi. A lot of people think he's an inter. I think he has a little bit of into his game, but he's still young. I think he was a rookie last year, so a little more grace needs to be given to him. And FPX was no, I liked FPX, but FPX were not a world beater last year. LWX is not a world beater alongside him. Zin is his backup, 283 KDA, 77.2 KP, 12 champions in 38 games. I think those numbers are good. Those are very limited, obviously, due to the LTL's limit of stats being given out, or LPL in general. If you've watched the other 3 regions, I have some support information I can put on here, but in the LPL, that is not freely given. Nautilus, Renata, and Tarek are his 3 most played champions. I doubt he's going to play over Hung. Like I said, this team has to figure out who their 80 carry is going to be. That is the primary objective for this club. Otherwise, they're going with one of these guys. And I'm going to be honest with you. This has a top 5 jungle mid duo in the LPL. Tarzan and Scout for sure are elite. But, Zika can be good. He could be good. I mean, he hasn't shown it, but he could be good. Hung could play at like a 70%. I mean, given if he doesn't int too much. But the bot lane is going to be such a big problem that, we're looking at a team, the difference between, being in that tier of 5th to 8th with I don't know, you think about a BLG, or you think of a Thunder Talk. They're in that range to 9th to 11th. You're thinking about OMG. You're thinking about, I don't know. There's other teams are escaping me right now, but I think you get my opinion with OMG. OMG are in that tier. They're a good descriptor. So LNG are definitely a question mark right now. So comment down below who you think their 80 carry is going to be. Like I said, don't say Gala. I mean, if you were going to really bet that Gala is going to be here, sure. But I really doubt you would legally put money down at even odds that Gala would be on this team. You're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So who do you think actually is going to be their 80 carry? Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube member. Click on the playlist that's popping up around me. I'm doing these alphabetically, so I think this is Team 8 in the LPL. So if you want to check that out, and thank you for watching.